It's road trip day. I am going to be exploring the wine route in Alsace. I'm 2 days away from leaving Strasbourg, so I'm excited to get out of town and see what else is around here.
Subscribe to our channel for more Zeke and Terri adventures. I met up with my French tutor Manaëlle at the train station in Strasbourg, where I rented a car and we drove about an hour south to Chateau du Haut-Koenigsbourg. Don't come at me in the comments with how I pronounce stuff. It was a wet and gloomy day, and there was supposed to be an amazing view from the hilltop where the chateau sits, but alas, we were seriously disappointed. Before touring the castle, we huddled under an umbrella with our hot cappuccinos, waiting for a break in the rain. The chateau itself looks like something straight out of a fairy tale, or even a legend. Originally built in the 12th century, it was destroyed, abandoned, and later completely restored by Kaiser Wilhelm II in the early 1900s. When Alsace was part of Germany. The goal? To show off the imperial power and revive the grandeur of the Middle Ages. Manaëlle grew up nearby and told me that all of the local kids visit it on a school field trip at some point in their schooling. What she learned, and what I didn't realize, is that the restoration was as much about politics as preservation. It was essentially propaganda. Politics aside, it's an incredible place to explore. You can see the layers of history from its medieval drawbridge and the towers to the stone walls, winding staircases, and weapon collections make it easy to imagine knights, nobles, and the battles fought over this strategic spot. I listened to the audio guide as we wandered through and learned that stonemasons used to mark their blocks to get paid. Each symbol identified their work. On this gray and rainy day, the fog rolling over the Vosges mountains, it made the castle feel even more dramatic, a little eerie, and maybe even a little magical. Manaëlle said that on a clear day, you can see all the way across the Rhine to Germany and the Black Forest. It was invisible on this day. But even in the mist, or maybe especially in the mist, Haut-Koenigsbourg feels like stepping back in time. From the misty mountaintop, we wound our way down into the vineyards, following a stretch of the famous Alsace wine route. Since I was driving, I didn't get any footage, but imagine rolling hills covered in vines. It felt a lot like Napa if Napa was like several centuries older. As usual, I'd done my homework before the trip, and I had a list of my must-see spots. I even sent the list to Manaëlle. She's from a nearby village and knows this area pretty well, but when she looked at my list, she laughed. She did not recognize half of the names. It turns out that a lot of those top 5 things to see lists online, including ones from YouTube, and yes, even the ones on ChatGPT, they can all be a little creative. Apparently people make up things that are worthwhile to see to fill the list. So instead of trying to find all of the places, we ditched the itinerary and just wandered Ribeauville. Ribeauville is made for this. It's a village of winding lanes and maisons au colombage, the half-timbered houses in every shade imaginable, each with like very different details like the wood carving, shutters, flowers, and these little details catch your eye at every turn. We stopped for lunch at a cozy spot called Au Passage, which is owned by a friend of Manaëlle's mom. It was warm, welcoming, the people were super friendly, and it was totally the kind of meal that feels even better when it's gray and drizzly outside. Ribeauville is also known as the city of the minstrels, and as we walked back to the car, the rain kept falling, but the view across the valley was gorgeous, even in the mist. We could just make out the Chateau de Saint-Ulrich, which is one of the 3 medieval castles that watch over Ribeauville. From there, it was a really short drive along the wine route to one of Alsace's most famous villages and one of the busiest, Riquewihr. Riquewihr is often called one of the most beautiful villages in France. It's definitely beautiful, but it's also touristy. It's a feast for the eyes to the point of overwhelm, at least for me. There were narrow cobblestone lanes, colorful half-timbered houses, overflowing with flowers in their flower boxes. I lasted about 2 minutes in one of the Christmas shops before telling Manaëlle, nope, I am not ready for Christmas. I think I was distracted by my list and the crowds and never quite found my rhythm here. Riquewihr is beautiful, there's no doubt, but I was really ready for something that felt a little less Disney and a little more real. And luckily, that was what was coming up next. Our last stop of the day was Keysersberg, and I'll admit, Manaëlle may have biased me a little. This is what she considers her hometown, and as soon as we arrived, I understood why she loves it so much. Keysersberg feels different. It still has all the beautiful half-timbered houses and the cobblestone streets, but it also felt real, like people actually lived there. There were shops that served locals, not just tourists, and people on bikes, residents chatting outside of shops and restaurants. And it's not a Disney version of Alsace. I didn't even bother pulling out my list here. We just wandered, with Manaëlle pointing out places she knew and even a few where she recognized some friends. We stepped inside the local church, which was quiet and charming and a perfect place to just chill and enjoy the calm. Of course, we had to stop for a coffee and a sweet treat to end our day. As we walked back to the car, Manaëlle showed me the hillside vineyards where she and a friend helped with a grape harvest this season. After a series of postcard-perfect towns, this one felt personal, and it's no surprise that Keysersberg was voted France's favorite village back in 2017. After 2 weeks solo in Strasbourg, spending the day with Manaëlle was such a treat. She'd been a wonderful French tutor and an even better travel companion. While I like Strasbourg, visiting Colmar and the villages along the Alsace wine route, especially Keysersberg, really cemented my love for this region. If you plan to visit, and I really think you should, you could skip Ribeauville and Riquewihr and just go straight to Colmar and Keysersberg. Honestly, Keysersberg would make a perfect home base to explore the region. And I know I said Colmar was the best place for this in a prior video, but I've changed my mind with new information. When you go, or if you've already been, please tell us your favorite spot in Alsace and if you loved it as much as I did. Hopefully you'll get some better weather, but even in the rain, Alsace is unforgettable.